And we're back with another news roundup. First on the list tonight is the Sony A9. This new camera is now available for pre-order from B&H Photo, Amazon and other stores. I'll put some links down below if you're interested in pre-ordering one of these. Remember, they're $4,500. Now, I have been looking into some of the features on these cameras a bit more, and from the specs on this camera, it truly is an outstanding camera. However, I have seen some video where the camera locks up when it's writing to this SD cards. Even with the new UHS 2 slot, if you fill up the buffer, when the buffer's writing off to the SD card slot, it does actually lock up the camera and stops you from taking more pictures. Now remember, this is a pre-production model. They might have this fixed in the production models, but this was a problem with previous Sony mirrorless cameras. Atamos has announced their Sumo. It's a 19-inch HDR monitor recorder. If you do videos rather than just take straight still photographs, you might have heard of the Atamos range of products before. This is a much larger version coming in at 19 inches. Features include 10 stops of dynamic range driven by the Atom HDR engine, a 1200 nit unit which is fairly bright. It records 12-bit RAW and 10-bit ProRes, can capture HD up to 240p and 4K up to 60p, HDMI 2 input and output and 4 SDI slots. It also has space for 2.5-inch SSDs. Price wise, the Sumo will come in at around about $2,500 and will be available third quarter of this year. DJI is releasing the DJI Goggles. This is a virtual reality type headset that allows you to actually control your drone. The goggles are fitted with two high-resolution 1280 by 1440 LCD screens, one for each eye. This is actually a higher res than the Oculus Rift. It will stream at 1080p from the drone in close range and 720p once the drone gets further out. One unique feature about this headset is you can actually control the drone through the motion sensors built into the headset. So you tip your head and the drone follows your head movements basically. They're not quite the cheapest set of goggles on the market, coming in at $450, but it would be a unique way to live stream from your drone. One thing I will say about this though, given the rules for drones, when flying a drone you have to have direct line of sight to your drone. If you're wearing these goggles, you're obviously not looking at the drone, you're looking through the camera, so you don't actually have direct line of sight to your drone. So I'm not sure if these goggles will actually constitute breaking the law. DPReview.com has done a quick article about the cost of professionals switching to the Sony A9 system. It's not just the cost of the camera itself, you need the lenses. Some lenses are not actually available on the A9 system, like long focal length primes, for example a 400 f4. Other lenses are there, the support costs, etc. On average, a standard sports photography professional would have to spend approximately $11,000 to switch over to the system. Photographer John Haverstick recently got contacted by one of his friends who was a NASA engineer, and it turns out that that engineer had a box of 70mm film original from the 1971 Apollo 15 mission. John Haverstick promptly set about digitally recording these images. It turns out that these images have been recorded before, so they weren't new unfound images, but still, having original Apollo 15 film canisters in your desk drawer, some of which were actually taken from the moon itself, it's a very neat thing to have, and it's a neat little story. And lastly, Canon is celebrating 30 years of its EOS, which stands for Electro-Optical System cameras. I didn't actually know that stood for Electro-Optical System. There you go. Canon EOS is Electro-Optical System. And their EF, Electro-Focus lenses. This neat video showcases the 30 years of evolution in just 90 seconds and takes you through every EOS camera that Canon has released. I'll put a link to the full video below. And there you have it, this week's news roundup. There's not very many stories out there at the moment as everybody's gearing up for the NAB. Once the NAB conference finishes, there will be plenty of stories coming out of that. NAB is usually around film industry, broadcast industry rather than still photographers. But lots of products get announced or launched at NAB, so I'm sure there'll be a better news segment next week. If you like this video or any of my other videos, please subscribe. Links below.